This is a Hot Pie Original.
Outside of the O.J. trial, of course, the murder trial of George Floyd was the most watched. I think more so than even the O.J. trial, we can agree the George Floyd case and conviction was far more important. Far more important, far more dramatic, far more meaningful, and change that you think and hope would take place. It had to happen. The verdict had to come down the way it was. And most people, I think the numbers were something like 65 or 70% of the population said they are following the case, the trial, closely or somewhat closely. So we all in real time, which there was an early debate about whether or not the George Floyd murder trial should have been televised. I think we now, in armchair quarterbacking this, would all agree that it was the right thing to do to see it. It was the right thing to do to hear it. The court process was impressive. I think we all came away having, unlike the O.J. trial, right, where you came away thinking, oh my gosh, what a dumpster fire. We came away from the trial of Derek Chauvin and the conviction of Derek Chauvin saying, wow, that process is measured, it's meaningful, it's pragmatic. I think we came away with a better feeling about the judicial system. I don't know anyone that watched it and followed it that could have come away with a different verdict. I mean, really, a person who was clueless, and it's hard to believe, but a person who was clueless about the entire story before the trial, even that person watching every minute of the trial would come away with the same conclusion: that guy is guilty. Doesn't mean the case was never about the cop waking up that day to say, I'm going to go kill someone. That's not what the case was about, and most sensible people know it. The case was proven. It is impossible to debate. I don't know we now know anyone in their right mind that would say, well, the jury got it wrong. Are you kidding? It was presented perfectly. It was defended. Chauvin was defended the best you probably could have done. Right? And it wasn't very good, but there wasn't a whole lot to use to defend him. But they gave it a try. There is no way there was any other verdict. No way. I don't care who you are. Well, except this. This does not make you feel any better. It shouldn't make you feel any better. So, of course, we now go back. Here's USA Today. And you can pick the part that surprises you most. It disturbs you most. This should disturb you. And guess what? 55% of those who identified themselves as Republicans believe that Chauvin was guilty. Wait, 55. You know what that means, don't you? Where's everyone else? So Father's Day is coming up. You're doing the gift boxes. Yep. So here's something that's certainly not a tie or a sweater or a pair of socks. Not a bad idea.
Well, I think it's great if you don't know what to get your dad. I mean, get him some hot sauce. That way he can prove how much of a man he is, right? And this hot sauce will go great, and your dad will love it. So I think it makes a great gift box. You can go to our website and find those there. It come in packs of 4. It's a great box you just give to your dad and say, listen, here, Dad, thanks for being my dad. And it's not that sock that's just going to go in a drawer. It's not that gift card that's going to go in a wallet, never be used again. It's actually something he can share with his friends. And so I think it's a great idea.
All right, order a box now. It's atxhotsauce.com, atxhotsauce.com. There is so much in that number. There is so much about a giant divide. That seems to me, I don't know about the rest of you, that is a terrifying number. There's no way you could come up with any other verdict. No way. There's no way you could watch that. 9.5 minutes of him sitting on the guy's neck. We would have a debate if it was 2 minutes, maybe. There's no debate at 9.5 minutes. There's none. This is not a gray area case, but yet 55% of Republicans believe that Chauvin was guilty? Oh, ouch, that hurts. 73% of those identified as Republicans, and I think it's unfortunate and it's pretty disturbing by itself that every poll that is taken you end up having to release the poll based on political persuasion, which is really pathetic. There should be nothing political about this case. This is about the law and about human decency. But yet, sure enough, there is. I mean, just to prove to you once again, there's an absolute giant gap politically in this country, the way people see things. It's really, really disturbing. 73% of Republicans, those identify themselves as Republicans, believe, quote, law and order is the most important thing to ensure, even if it means limiting peaceful protest. Oh my gosh. Who the hell are you? Wait, I know who you are. You're fascist. That, I don't know if that's worse than the number that believed that Chauvin was not guilty. But to say that you think peaceful protest should be limited, and we're not talking about 5%. Look, I would buy that it's 5 or 10 or even 15% of the American public is fascist. 73% saying law and order must be important to ensure, even if it means limiting peaceful protests. There's nothing anyone should say in this country, unlike other places around the globe. There's nothing you should say that should limit peaceful protests. What would that limit be? Under what circumstance do you think the government should be limiting peaceful protests? There's no answer to that. The answer is none. None. Whether you agree with the peaceful protest or not. We didn't say a protest in which you set fire to someone's house. We didn't say a protest in which you dumped over a car. We said the question was a peaceful protest, and you think that should be limited? You are a fascist. What other term would there be? Let that sink in. 73% said that law and order is most important to ensure, even if it means limiting peaceful protests. That is not just terrible and disturbing. That by itself is completely un-American.
Look me over. If you like what you see, help out. If not, vote for the other person.